Okay, I think we're live. All right, no, not that. Here we go to the charts. All right, just doing another live stream. Going to talk a little bit about gold. Look, quickly discuss a little bit about the trades I was thinking about yesterday, and how they kind of played out. What I'm kind of looking at for today. Same old, same old. Market's about to open in the US, so obviously this is an important time to start paying attention. So let's get into it. Let me delete this one here from that was yesterday. So yesterday, what I was really talking about was, right now I'm looking at the hour chart on gold. I was talking about how if we could have actually made support here or found some sort of, consistency here, that we would probably be trending higher. And that was a trade I was actually looking at. That really played out really, really nicely. Unfortunately, due to the fact that I got taken away from something else, I didn't actually get a chance to pull the trade off. So I missed actually the opportunity, but everything played out really nicely. If you had opened around 1918 instead of take profit around 1930, you would have made a nice little profit there. That yeah, that trade actually really worked out very, very well. Funnily enough as well, unfortunately, I did also take a bit of a loss earlier today. I'd actually set up a 1924. I was eyeing a position where I was hoping that we were going to pull back and then make this line here, this or just this general area here, additional support. And we actually failed to do that when we were starting to get this pullback. That's what I was really hoping, because we had this crazy wick candle that dropped down and actually retouched 19, below 1920, even to 1913, I think. And funnily enough, I set the position at 1924. Went on about my day with something else. I set a buy limit, and I actually had set my SL at 1914, and I just got wicked out. So that was really, really unfortunate. Um, yeah, so it is what it is. Sometimes you win some, sometimes you lose some, and unfortunately, I thought that I had enough space with my stop loss, but I didn't, so I got stopped out in 1914, and I would have been at least break even, or if not, making some profit, because I would have been holding the trade still right now. It is what it is. Okay. Um, but so I think one thing that this particular candle right here really shows us is that right now, if you're not ready to take some losses during a market like this, that's just so volatile, with everything that's going on with Russia. um, Yeah, I would highly recommend to stay away from the gold market right now, because this is just, yeah, it's a tough market to trade. I mean, that's just the reality. You can definitely make money, especially if you stick to going long, and taking your longs at the right position, because obviously, like I've talked about before, let's just go on the day chart for that matter, I mean, we're clearly on some bullish momentum. Um, but like this candle here showed, it's not just take your position and just wait for the profit to come, because you can still get that crazy volatility, right? And on top of that, when we think about fundamentally what's coming today, we have Powell potentially speaking. Now, it's not a big important thing about what Powell is. It's not like a Fed FOMC press conference. It's not like that. It's just a testimonial, but or he's just testifying. But still, he could say something that is going to be of interest to the gold market, especially around interest rates. I don't expect much, honestly, in terms of Powell. Fundamental analysis is where I tend to do well, where I have a better understanding. And I think just right now, the reality is that he's been pushing the March thing for a while. Um, we need to wait for the real press conference in March, right? The actual interest rate decision in March. That's going to be the big one. But right now, I don't think anything's going to change too much. If anything, the thing that I would maybe the only thing that I would think would be of interest that he's going to say at the moment is something along of the lines that because of the war, they're actually going to potentially look at delaying raising interest rates. Okay, which would be positive for gold, for gold. So again, following our thesis that yes, um, right now we're in a bullish market and you should be playing long. Don't try and short unless you're really scalping the market. Okay. Um, so yeah, but I mean, obviously there's volatility that could potentially come out of that, and we still have to remember that come Friday there is the NFP report. NFP I don't think is that relevant right now as in terms of data as a narrative point for this market at the moment, but it can definitely create short-term volatility and again stop you out depending on how you set up or where you take your buy position and how you set up your stop loss, right? So these are things that we really have to pay attention to right now in the market. Okay. If you're looking at the hour chart, by the way, you could definitely claim that this was kind of a double top, so that this drop was kind of expected. But again, I'm just trading the hour chart at the moment or looking at it purely to look at entry opportunities, but I'm definitely looking much more at the 4 hour and also the day chart and the week chart, et cetera, et cetera. And the reality is that right now, like if we look at the 4 hour chart, this is actually still looking like really, really bullish. Look at the strong bounce back that we've had here. You could argue that, on the 4 hour chart, we're actually just now making 1920 support. And anything really between 1920 and this general support line, this upward trend support line here, I think is a good position to be looking at buys right now. So going back to the hour chart, what are the what are what is the exact range here? I'll actually draw it out. Go with the rectangle here. I really think that any opportunity that you get right now from any potential wick in this general area here, with your stop loss coming at somewhere below 1900, I would say like 1898. I mean something like that. I think is definitely an interesting opportunity with a take profit region of somewhere around, yeah, maybe the lower end here. Maybe this general choppiness range here if you're trying to be conservative and just make, a nice little profit, or potentially just to hold, right? So if we get a bounce up, right, if I'm going to draw it out, if we get a bounce up, oh, shit, not there. If we do get that kind of, support here and we start bouncing up and whatever, blah, 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 something like this, um, moving up your stop loss, right? So that you can always make sure you're taking some profit that way. I think that's another interesting way to play it right now, given the crazy volatility of the market that is definitely going to be expected over the next few days, right? If we look at standard Western media like the BBC, I mean, it's just a lot of continuous fearful news. Obviously, as we talked about yesterday with Biden as well, as I kind of expected, he just fear mongered a bunch more. You have no idea what's coming, Putin. Fuck you, right? Like Putin gives a shit what you think, you old fart. But um, in general, it's clear that the fundamental media narrative around this war is very, very fearful still. Doesn't look like there's any kind of optimism creeping in whatsoever. So we just have to kind of really continue to expect that the market's going to be pushing higher ultimately. I mean, I think that's really it. And just be smart about how you're playing, whether that means you're taking appropriate risk to reward, right? Um, like I was talking about yesterday, kind of that like one to one or 2-to-1 risk to reward kind of trades, or and only long, right? Only long, not short, only long. Or moving up your stop loss appropriately up levels so that you can actually lock in your profits in case you do get a candle like this, like the one that we saw earlier here, that personally stopped my ass out. So unfortunately, I'm still up on the week, but I took a bit of a hit there. Okay. So, anyways, guys, that's all I'm kind of thinking about for today. If you have any questions, you can definitely leave a comment and I'll be happy to ask. I'm going to try and do these regularly just because I'm looking at the market a lot. But again, I don't want to plan any videos. I can't be fucked. So, here we go. All right, man. Take care, guys.